More than 1,500 go to Europe every year, and most of them use this special route over the Atlantic Ocean, a kind of invisible highway of ships, with all ships moving back and forth within 60 kilometers of each other. They fly sideways. Their distance is 30 kilometers, while if it is done after the altitude, then they are only 1,000 feet above and below each other, that is, about 305 meters. Multiple aircraft are very close to each other in the sky, especially in US to Europe flights that use the invisible highway. Why do we only use this particular route in this close proximity to each other? Welcome back to World Documentary Videos. He noticed that there is an invisible force in the sky at an altitude of 30 to 40,000 feet, which moves the balloons at a very high speed to the east. But then, after 25 years in World War II, there was an event that started to take this research of Japanese scientists seriously in the world. In April 1945, 6 friends went to the American state of Oregon for a picnic. They saw the balloon lying there and dragged it in excitement, but what did they know about the risk they were going to take? Many more incidents of this type were also reported in the whole of the U.S. by the hands of friend John. When the investigation was done, it was found that these balloons were launched by a young man from the Pacific Ocean, 10,000 kilometers away. About 300 of them launched balloon bombs, of which 300 were targeted at the U.S. Japan took advantage of the research of Wasabiru Oishi to launch these balloons, which reached the U.S. in strong winds. Since then, 30 to 40 these tunnels of wind 1,000 feet above are called jet streams. Almost all year long, these winds travel eastward at a maximum of 25 kilometers, which has a width of several hundreds of kilometers and a thickness of 4 kilometers, and the surprising thing is that they do not have a fixed location. Scientists believe that these strong winds are generated due to the temperature difference between the poles and the equator. When the warm air from the equator travels towards the pole, jet streams are created, but if the air travels from the equator to the North Pole, it must travel from south to north. But why do these jet streams travel from west to east? The main reason for this is the rotation of the Earth. We are rotating at a speed of about 1600 pm in the anti-clockwise direction, from west to east. Should do, but the rotation of the Earth is forcing them to travel west to east now. We go to our main question: why 15 ships a day to USA Europe, over the Atlantic Ocean, is only one thing. In 1952, airline pilots began to notice jet streams. Just as jet streams are found over the Pacific, there are also jet streams over the Atlantic Ocean during travel from the USA to Europe. Pilots deliberately steered the plane into the jet stream because at 250 kilometers, the gusts pushed the plane forward, increasing the plane's speed, reducing turbulence, and, of course, fuel consumption. Similarly, if going back to the US from Europe, then pilots using any other route would stay away from the jet stream, because now the winds were in the opposite direction, which would have a reverse effect on the plane. As time passed and the airline industry grew rapidly, all pilots were now using jet streams to fly eastward, but the biggest problem was the increased traffic within the jet streams, which could lead to accidents. The work of air traffic controller EATC used to be to make the route plan of the flights according to the feather, so that no plane within the jet streams collides with each other. We all know that the retirees on the air traffic control tower, they detect the location of which plane will fly at what altitude and at what speed on the basis of this location. It is not so much that it can detect the position of ships within a maximum range of 128 kilometers. As soon as they go, they disappear from the radar range. So now how will the ATC know the location of the aircraft? Spread over thousands of kilometers, the aircraft flying above it will update its position every 14 minutes by satellite here on high radio frequency, through sending to the control tower, but in these 14 minutes, any accident can happen. My video, then subscribe my channel.